I thought I was going to be last, but here I am. So hey, thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Lucien Harriot. I have a studio called Mechanism Digital. I've been in business for about 30 years, and we do visual effects for TV shows, for films, for medical animations, explaining how stuff works, corporate communications, all sorts of stuff. So we're more of an animation company, visual effects company, all that stuff that's not the editing, not the websites, but everything sort of in between. So, and do I just click on this guy? Hopefully these things play. I forget what I put in here. So I've also been teaching a lot with AI about, put on some webinars. It was a bi-weekly event that was about all the different AI tools out there. Started this about a year ago, and you can find these on the website under Insights. That's what we call the blog there. But I was teaching about AI in imagery, AI in video, AI in visual effects, AI in animation, and this was something I took upon myself to force myself to learn about all of these tools, how they work and how they're going to fit into our workflow in production. So my staff or my clients would be saying, hey, there's this new AI tool, how does that work? And I'd sort of start to play with it and learn it, and I said, you know what, I should be teaching a class about this. So that was an amazing opportunity for myself to learn a lot, figure out how to put it into the production that we've been doing for 30 years. We're mostly 3D animation, 2D animation, compositing, but now embracing AI and figuring out how that works into our workflow. It also, so I had about 700 people a week were joining and sharing that out. So there's a bunch of tools there. Every week I talked about new tools, and these are all links and stuff if you go to the my webpage there. So we're doing a bunch of, do I click it again to make it play? Second time, great. So we're working on visual effects for films. So we're finding that bits and pieces of this are, AI is an amazing opportunity to use it in visual effects. In this particular case, she's in a dream sequence and she thinks she's having a romantic time with her husband, and she finds out it's the thin guy, the thin man. This is a film called The Devoted. This isn't out yet. But they were not happy with the makeup on his back, and so they asked, could we enhance the makeup on his back? And we're saying that's a big deal to build him in 3D and build all this 3D animation. Can I play it again? No, we're going back. But then we said, you know what, AI might be this wonderful tool to sort of enhance it. So we were able to generate an image very easily. Then we had to rotoscope his fingers. We had to track it on. So it's not just a click of a button, but it's a process. Well, let me try one more time. It's a process that really sped up things very, very quickly. So what it ended up happening is it didn't make the film any cheaper, but it allowed us to make things better than we thought we were going to be able to make. So this is another shot from that same film where there was an opportunity where the actress gave this wonderful expression, and then they wanted us to add this sort of moment in the middle of the film. So this is the thin man again. So this is a wonderful opportunity where we're getting acting. Try to go back. Whoop, whoop. And then combining it with some AI, which I thought was a very powerful opportunity here. So we were also able to iterate very quickly different types of sort of creatures and stuff like this. Here's our thin man. Here's the morph, actually, we're talking about. They wanted to make him turn into this like overly ghastly creature, and that was very easy to do with AI. So amazing stuff that it can do for films for us. What is that? Do I play something here? So let's see. I don't know if these have audio or not. Try to turn that down a little bit. So this is an example of, we do these medical education programs, and this was, they don't have much of a budget, but these are effectively multiple choice questions for a bunch of doctors, and this is kind of like, you know when you go bowling and that's that little animation above on the television, this just kind of helps to fill time, and it shows who won and who didn't win. So these were pretty lame 3D characters that we would create, but that's all we could afford, or they could afford in their budget. But now, with AI, we're able to sort of step this up a bit. So they're not paying anymore. Our artists are still working the same number of hours, but we're able to elevate these characters a bit with these opportunities now. So we would create, this is the intro, we would have the winner, we would also have people that were sad, we had while they were thinking, and these are just so easy now to generate these characters and bring a lot of animation to what we're doing. This is another piece we did for this organization that was talking about the free press isn't free.
Printing and a printing press, printing words of liberty. All the ink made the people think we need to let freedom ring. So we said goodbye.
All right.
The pen's mightier than the sword, yes.
So somebody had written this song. He was a local, and we basically took all of the lyrics of the song, put it into ChatGPT, asked it to come up with ideas for the concepts of each of these scenes. We picked and chose. There was it came up with 10 ideas that were bad and one idea that was good. So you still have to be, you come with the intention, you iterate with this black box, and then you're responsible for what comes out of this. Then we generated still images. This was over a year ago, so there's a bit of After Effects involved here as well. Once again, they came to us and said, we've got $5,000, can you help us make a video? We're like, well, that sounds like fun, and we're going to learn a lot from doing it, so let's go ahead and do that with you guys. So they said, how about something that looks like Schoolhouse Rock? So we kind of took that inspiration and played with that. We weren't allowed to type in Schoolhouse Rock, but we were able to get things that kind of look like that. So again, we're upgrading a lot of what this stuff looks like. Piece that I was doing, this was a pitch for an agency.
Has this belief that to unlock your greatest creativity, you must face your greatest fears around it. Sounds like some Batman shit, but basically his concept was, if you want to unlock your creativity again, you have to do what you're most afraid of.
So this was an agency that was hoping to come up with a character that could represent the owner of the agency, and he could be doing interviews and things like that when he wasn't actually there all the time because he was being stretched in too many different directions. Ultimately, this didn't work out, but this was a great experience. We probably used Runway or some of the other tools that were kind of like that, but it's so easy now to create stuff, and especially if you use real people's, this only did not use his facial gestures, it just took the voice and it intonated all of the emotion from what he was saying, which is pretty amazing these days. And this was just what was funny. This is a little test piece, and it's just all about, can you actually create real action stuff here?
You making breakfast or just smelling regret again?
And then the next one.
You making breakfast or just smelling regret again?
I just think these things are hilarious. So it's this was done with Sora, and it's so funny what he can kind of create us just on the fly. Is this in here twice?
You making breakfast or just smelling regret again?
So for us, when we're an animation company, and typically we did something that looks like 3D animation and 2D animation, but now live action is something that we can do, and it almost doesn't matter to us anymore. The workflow is the same, whether you did a single person talking to camera or a full-blown space battle from Star Wars, can't be Star Wars, but looks like Star Wars, it basically costs the same amount of money at this point. So. In the future also, I think it's important to see that the future is going to be on our faces, and this is going to be an interesting twist. This is a couple years in the future, but as we can generate content faster and faster, it's going to be real time at some point. And if it's going to be looking at your profile, kind of like when you swipe to TikTok, your feed is unique to yourself. I think the content is going to be unique to each person in here, and we're all going to be watching this dynamically real-time generated content. Sort of like being in your own Grand Theft Auto or something like that. So you want to watch horror, you want to watch comedy. Maybe in the beginning, I'm sure it's going to be advertising that's going to run a lot of this stuff. This is what's going to drive, it's always going to be consumerism. So we're going to see this in commercials, but we're going to start to see this in films and things. So that sounds sad sometimes. It also sounds kind of fun and exciting. So I think that ultimately, you know, we talk about the LLMs and the AI not being creative, but it can simulate creativity to a point where the masses can't really tell the difference. So that it may not be as good as some of the masters of media, but for a lot of people that may not matter. So I think that's going to be an interesting shift, and I am always looking for where is it going to go. It's like the soccer analogy that Tammy always says is, you know, don't run to the ball in soccer, run to where the ball is going. So we're trying to figure out where that is. So thanks. Reach out to me with any questions at all. I'm super excited about this stuff, and thanks for having me.